So it's day one of the Preston festival, and I'm going to do a little 5-day vlog, just tell you how we get on every day. So it's day one today. The section draws was done last Friday. I'm on B section, which starts at Twin Oaks and ends on the Match Lake. So it's a nice little rotation, to be honest. They've just done the draw this morning, and I'm on Twin Oaks peg 14. Which is an absolutely fantastic peg, to be honest. Last time I was down here, I was on peg 15 and managed to win the match with 200 odd pounds. So 15 and 17 are probably the two best pegs in the section, but 14's, you know, not one to be sniffed at. So hopefully we'll get down there now, we'll have a little look at the peg and we'll catch a pile of fish. But it's going to be very calm today, no wind. So we're going to be able to fish tidy, and hopefully those big munters are going to be ready for me. But first day and a really good draw, so cannot be disappointed really. I hope that I'm going to catch a pile of fish. So here we go. Let's see when I get to the peg. So here we are, folks, down at the peg 14 on Twin Oaks. That's the peg there. I'm with from peg 8 down there right the way up to peg 18, which is just around the corner. Just two pegs down there is the famous peg 16, probably the best peg in Cornwall. So hopefully we'll have a good day. So here we are, guys, at the peg. Looks fantastic this morning. It's flat calm, looks really nice. Hopefully the sun's going to get up as well, so it's going to be a nice day. So hopefully we can catch a few on a waggler, a few on a bomb early, and maybe some shortening the edge later on. Some big fish on that edge and short, so hopefully we'll catch a good weight and start off the festival well. So we're back in the van. We weighed 135 pound, 134 pounds, so many ounces, but almost 135. It's been a really hard match. I was going in this morning expecting to sort of catch, you know, 150 to 200, and it's not really worked out that way. It's been really hard. I've had 135 pound, and I think the next best weight is 60 odd pound, 64 pound. It's fished really hard. I don't know what's happened. It's been bright, it's been flat calm. I don't know whether that's sort of put a bit of a kibosh on it, but it's been rock hard. So I caught, at the start I caught a couple of carp and a couple of F1s, just chucking bomb and a piece of punch polony just in and around the rushes. No feed, just chucking it here and there. I've had a couple of carp and a couple of F1s doing that. That was good for about an hour. Then I couldn't get a bite on it, so I've been pinging pellets 3/4 of the way over from my waggler line. So I dropped the bomb over there and I caught one quite quickly, but none followed after that. And then, to be honest with you, through the middle of the match, it was just a case of kept chucking the waggler. You know, you get an odd bite, an odd fish on it, and just swap between slapping a pellet on the long pole and chucking a waggler really, and just nicking very odd fish. And then the last hour, about 2 hours ago, I fed my edges. I've not seen a fish in my edge until 10 minutes ago, and I've not caught a fish in there. The last 40 minutes I've had a few fish, probably 4 or 5 carp and an F1 on meat short, but other than that it's just been a day of nicking an odd fish here and there. It's been a interesting match and a quite enjoyable match, because it was like you were nip and tuck all the way and just kept swapping and changing and trying to nick fish. But you know, it's a section win. I think I've won the lake as well, so it's a good start. 130 odd pound, you know, is a good weight to start with. I'm off to Trelawney tomorrow, I think, so gonna need a good peg tomorrow, I think, and hopefully we can get onto a bit of a bit of a charge early doors, because at some stage I'm sure I'll have a couple of dodgy pegs. So hopefully we'll have another good one tomorrow and we'll see what happens. So I'll catch you in the morning and we'll see what pegs destined for me in the morning, and then we'll have a little look around the lake when I get down there. So here we are, folks, day 2 of the Preston festival, and I'm on Trelawney today. The draw's just been done. I'm on peg 4, which, to be honest with you, is the only area of the lake I want to try and avoid, because it's been really hard there. It's a really hard part of the lake. Yesterday I think it was only like 30 pounds and 40 pounds there, so it was really tough. Phil Cannon was here yesterday. I think he only had 30 odd pound, so it's not been great there. It's not been a great one. I'm hoping to catch a few fish. I'm gonna go down to the peg now, have a little look at it, and I might today fish a really negative match and just fish for points, because it's not, as I said, it's not a great area. So I might just fish for points and hopefully, you know, get somewhere higher up in a section than a third, because it's not very good at all, to be honest. So, but we'll go down to the peg now. We'll have a little look, see what's happening, and we'll formulate a plan. So here we are, down on the peg 4, Trelawney. My section runs from 5 next door there down to peg 1, 2 peg 1 on the end there, and then there's 3 or 4 on the other side. So it's not a great peg. Phil Cannon only had 30 odd pound off it yesterday, so it's damaged limitation today. I think probably going to fish a real negative maggot match and hopefully just nick a few points, but we'll see. I'm going to give it a go and see how it goes. So there we are, guys, day 2 of the Preston festival done, and to be honest with you, I've had an absolute putrid day. It's been absolute horrendous. Started off on pellets, long, tapping 4 mils, fishing on 4 mil. Had a good little run of Carassios, probably 6 or 7. They're only sort of small, only sort of 6 to 8 ounce. I did chuck a method, never really had a bite, only a little gudgeon, which wasn't brilliant. And then from then on it just got harder and harder. I managed to catch a few Carassios on worms, but the middle sort of 2 hours of the match I've not had a bite. Basically it's been rock hard, not had a bite, and it's just been putrid. Like I said, I've not had a bite short on meat. I've not had anything come in the edge. I did catch a few fish long, 60 meters last going off, where I've fished a big worm and just loose fed 4 mils really heavy to try and make something happen, and I've had a 4 or 5 pound ghost carp and a couple of Carassios and 1 F1 doing that, so that's got me out of jail a little bit. I did hook a big carp, sort of, I don't know, between 5 and 7 pound, shallow on a jigger, and I played it all the way to the net basically, and he's had one last dive out into the middle of the lake, and I couldn't get the sections on quick enough, and it's broke me. So that fish would have put me at least third. If it was sort of a little bit bigger than 7 pound, it probably would have made me close to winning the section. But you know, that's fishing at the end of the day. We live and we learn, and other than that sort of one fish, I've not lost hardly any fish. So like Carassios and Notorious are coming off, and I think I've only had 1 or 2 that's come off. So you know, you can't have it always. It's a bad one today. I've had 23 pound, and I think I've beaten 2 people, which would leave me with 4 points. So I've got a section win and a 4 points as a dropper. So it's not brilliant, but you know, tomorrow's another day, and hopefully that's my dropper sorted and I can have a couple of good results now and get in that final, because I think it's going to be really tight, that final. Top 24 go through to the final, so I think that's going to be really tight to get in. But we'll go again tomorrow. We're on Python and 8-gun tomorrow, so a nice peg on 8-gun or a nice end on Python would be lovely. But we'll see what happens. I'm going to the bar now to have a few beers to drown my sorrows, and a bit of grub as well with the boys, so we'll see you tomorrow. So here we are, folks, once again, and I've drawn day 3 of the Preston festival, and I've drawn peg 4 on 8-gun. Now it is an end peg, so I'm not overly disappointed, but it's not had a lot of form of late. The fish have seemed to have been like peg 8, peg 10, peg 12 and peg 14. That's where they've seemed to have been. But I am an end peg, so I'm hoping that end peg advantage might give me a few fish, but we'll have to wait and see. We're gonna head down to the lake now. I don't know who's in my section. I think Ben Ag's on 10, so he's gonna be hard to beat, but we'll have a look and see what happens now. Drive down to the lake and I'll show you my peg. So here we are, folks, down at the lake. Peg 4's behind me. I got all our room up there. Peg 18's the next peg to me. Go up in the narrow bit a bit, and then peg 6 that way is the next peg. So all the fish have been sort of down that end, sort of peg down there, peg 8 and 10 and 12. So hopefully we'll catch a few. We've got Ben shouting at me down there. I don't know what he's shouting at, but we'll give it a go and we'll see what happens. So here we are, guys, just parked up in the car park, just about to go in for a beer. It's been quite a wet one the last hour. The heavens have opened and it's chucked it down, but we've had a good day. I've had £135, so it's a really nice day. Didn't expect that really, because peg 4's been not great the last 2 days. The fish have seemed to have been on 15 and 12 and peg 8, so the fish have been that end, so didn't really expect that, but I'll take it. I've had a lovely day. I've had 60 meters. I started tapping pellets, caught probably 5 or 6 small F1s and a few crassios doing that. I've mugged 4 or 5 carp throughout the day. Every now and again you see one and I just flick at it. I've mugged 3 on my F1 short kits with an F1 rig, and I've mugged 2 with a proper mugging rig. But I've caught some F1 shallow on maggots as well, and I caught a few on maggots on the bottom underneath it. And then last sort of 35-40 minutes, I've seen a couple of swirls on the pallet next door, and I have had 3 carp, a big blonde F1 and another F1 about £4 down there. So I've had a lovely day. £135, nothing to grumble about today. Everything's gone to plan, and really happy. Looking forward to Belingi tomorrow, so I need another good draw on there, because really speaking I need 2 more good results. So if I can have 2 more good results, you'll see me into the final and probably the top 10. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll have 2 more good results and we'll be in that final. So here we are, folks, day 4 of the Preston Festival, and I'm on my way to the beautiful Belingi, just about to pull into the car park. And I've drawn peg 22, which is a peg I've been on before, which is normally quite a good peg, but it's in the section with all the big weights, so I don't really know what to think about that, because there's been some big weights off 19 and 14 and 15 this week, and they're all in with me. So it's going to be one of those days where I'm going to have to catch a big weight. I'm going to have to fish sort of short and in the edges to try and catch a big weight, and I don't know whether the peg's possible of it. So we'll go to the lake now, we'll have a little look, and you know, we'll try and formulate the plan. It's probably going to be fishing short in the edges and maybe just a long pellet line just to tick over at the start of the match. But we'll have a look and we'll see. Here we are, guys, at the peg 22. I don't know what to think of this one, to be honest. Peg 19 over there. It's got a lot of room. That's been very good. 300 odd pound, and 14 or 15 the other side of the island has been good. Those pegs on our bottom bank there with that aerator has been 200 pound pegs too. So I'm going to need a big 200 to a 300 today to do any good at all. So I think it's going to be a simple day, chucking a method to the island there to start with, and then in that edge there, and just short on pellets, micros, worms on the hook, maggots on the hook. Hopefully we'll catch enough, but we'll see what happens now. So we're just driving home now. Belingi 22 was the peg. What can I say? I felt like I needed a big weight today, as 19 thrown up 340 odd pound yesterday. Peg 14, 15 and 12 have all thrown up big weights, sort of, you know, 250s to 300s as well this week and last week. So felt like being in that section I needed a big weight, so my setup sort of mirrored that. I've set up 2 edge lines both sides, a top kit in front of me, a slapping rig and a method, and that's all I've done. Starting on a method, caught 4 or 5 little carp, sort of like 3-pounders. Stopped getting bites on that, so I was going nowhere. Went out, started slapping a pellet. I've had a 4 or 5 pounder on that and lost one. By this stage it was like sort of an hour and 20 in, and people around me, James Howarth on 19 said he had about 70 pound. The boys on the far bank, I couldn't quite see them because there's an island in the way, but the boys on the far bank I could hear talking, and they said they had about 80 to 90 pounds. So I knew I was well behind, because I probably only had 20 or 30 pound at that stage. So gambled and went in my edge a little bit earlier than I really would want to. Caught a couple of fish, but it was just really clear that they just didn't want to settle. They were coming in, but not really coming in confidently. And you know, I did catch a few fish on double worm, fishing down both edges. I lost a few on my top 4 line to my left hand edge, because there's some brambles and all that hanging over, and I hook a fish and he'd run down a bank, snag me up in the brambles. So I did lose a few fish there, but got up to about 70, 75 pound, maybe 80 pound with 2 hours to go. Rumour has it that there was a few boys on the far bank that had sort of just over a ton. They had like 120s. Ben Dale's had about 140, 150 they were saying. So made a bit of a change. Plumbed up a new line on a top 4 to my right. Found about 14 inch of water right tight to the bank. There's a bit of grass there, so fished right tight into the grass in 14 inches of water. Fed it with a big pot of micros with some maggots, and went down my left hand edge. Caught one down my left hand edge, and as I was playing it, I looked to the side and there was a tail in there. So I thought, right, I'm in there. So I went in 14 inches deep, big bunch of maggots, and to be honest with you, it's been really good. Every fish I've had in that edge I've seen. So I've seen the fish come in, float the whack under, and they'd be on. big eruption in the edge, and you'd have the fish. Like, so caught really well in that edge. A lot of small fish though, a lot of fish between sort of 4 and 6 pound, not the real big brutes that we're used to from Blingy. So it's been a bit of a strange one. I've caught lots and lots of fish because I've had a smaller stamp. I've only had 2 fish over 10 pound, so I've had a lot of smaller fish, smaller stamp, but I've had lots of bites and lots of fish that last sort of hour and 45 minutes. I've ended up weighing 239 pound, which has ended up 2nd in the section, and I think 3rd on the lake, so I'll have a bit of super pool money come in. Ben Dales have won the section and won the lake with 345 pounds, so well done to him. But managed a 2nd. There's not a disaster in that sort of bagging section. You know, you could quite easily be, you know, 5th or 6th. I think James Howarth have been 4th with 197 pounds, so that's how close it can be. So a 2nd, I'll take that, and I've now got 2 wins, a 2nd and a 5th, which gives me 27 points, which I think is not quite enough at the moment to get in that final. I need a result tomorrow. I need a 3rd, either a 4th or above. I think a 3rd or a 2nd would definitely see me in, but a 4th might just see me sneak in the back door. So we're on the match lake tomorrow, following. So we'll wait and see what peg I draw tomorrow, but hopefully it's a ripper and I can get that section win and get a top 10 finish. So we'll see. We'll all go again tomorrow. So here we are, folks, last day of the Preston festival, and I'm off to the match lake following. This lake's been really peggy lately, so really need a good draw. The draw's just come out. I've drawn peg 20, which is on one of the points. It's a nice peg, to be honest. It's got a bit of shallow water because it's a bit of a shallow bar, so you can get up into sort of like 5 or 6 foot of water. We've got an island chuck as well to the point of the island, so you know, might catch a few early fish on a method there. But it's in with all the points. So I don't know, the points have been really good. So peg sort of 23, 22 and 24 on the 1 point has been the best area of the lake. It's taken the lake money sort of most days and won the section most days. So I'm hoping that I can catch enough just to beat those 2 or 3 people, because to be honest with you, I need a better a 5th today, so I need a 4th or above to guarantee me getting in the final. Ideally a section win, but I think that's going to be a hard push to get from where I am. But you never know, 20 is a good peg, and you know, if those fish are on that bar, then I could potentially win the section. So we'll go down to the lake, we'll have a little look at the peg, and we'll see what happens. It's supposed to be really bad rain today and really bad wind, and it's absolutely chucked it down last night, so I don't know how that's going to affect the water and the fishing today, but hopefully it won't affect it too bad, because you know, I need to catch a few fish today. So we'll give it a go and we'll see what happens. So here we are, folks, peg 20 on the point of the match lake. Wind off my back, which I'm glad of because it's supposed to be quite windy today. Got 19 in next door, 21 in, 22 on that point over there, 23, 24, and then 2 pegs over there on the other bank. That's my section. So hopefully we'll have a nice day, catch a few fish, because I need a good result today. Make sure I make that final. So we'll catch up after the match and I'll see what I've done. And so standing now, I don't really know what I'm going to do yet, but we'll have a little catch up later and see how it goes. So just got changed, just on my way up the club because I've had an absolute soaking today. Like I said earlier, drew peg 20. Felt like it was a good peg. It's normally a good peg. Any of those pegs on the point are good. Felt I was up against it a little bit with peg 23 and 22 and 24, just because the F1s have seemed to be in that area, and 19 and 20 and 21 have sort of struggled all week. So it was a bit of a weird one really, but anyway, wind was off my back. So I started the match, wind off my back, started at 14 metres, caught one little stocky carp for about £1, which was no good at all. And it was fishing rock hard, like really hard. So went out to 16 metres at an angle up onto the bar, probably going to about a foot shallower than I was at 14 metres. Done that. Fed some casters there, fished a worm on the hook, little worm head. I did catch one small F1 there, about £1 again, and that was it basically. You know, I swapped and changed lots of different things. I did have one on bomb and bread and about £1 again, probably with 2 hours in I expect, on a bomb and bread, just out of the blue. And I've tried everything. I tried fishing long on the deck, I tried short on meat, I put a little caster line in the edge for perch and roach, never had a bite on that, and it was just really hard. So with sort of 2.5 hours left of the match, I sort of decided that I was going to sort of push my peg. I had nothing to lose, I only had sort of £3 in the net, so I decided I was going to push the peg a little bit and try and catch up, because from what I could see, only sort of 20 odd pound was winning the section. I think it was like 22, 24 pounds, something like that, was caught at this halfway stage. So I was thinking, well, if I can get a little run of fish, or you know, maybe catch a big carp or something, or you know, something like that. So anyway, gone to my 14.5 metre line again, started rafting in casters, fished on the bottom of a worm, just kept rafting in casters. After about an hour of doing this, I had a bite. Obviously I was fishing on the bottom at this point. Had a bite, missed it, lowered back in, had a bite and had a little stocky carp, about £1 again, pound and a bit. So thought, oh, you know, that perhaps it's switching on now. So I'd gone back in, started rafting casters over the top again, and floats buried again, missed it. Lowered the rigging again, missed another bite. I thought, what's going on here? Why am I missing these bites? And then next drop, I lowered it in, and the rig went off to the side a little bit. And I thought, oh yeah, the liners here, you know, perhaps they've turned up shallow. So went out on a 3-foot jigger. I had a 4-foot jigger set up, a 3-foot jigger and a 2-foot jigger, plus a few fixed rigs. So went out on a 3-foot jigger to start with, started jigging away, blasting casters, sort of like 15 minutes gone by, not had any bites. And then as I've sort of jigged the jigger up, the elastics come out, and I've got one. Started shipping it back, and it's come off, it's foul hooked. I had a little scale on the hook, so I must have hooked it as I was lifting. So obviously pulled the hook into it. So I've gone out with my 2-foot jigger then. Bear in mind there's only like sort of an hour and 20 left of this match at this point, and I've got like sort of £3 or £4 in the net. So gone out with my 2-foot jigger, put it in, let it go down to the you know, the end of the jigger, jigged it back up a few times, loosed it a few times, and the elastics pulled out. And I've had a crash here about £1. Next drop I had an F1 about £2, and it really started to kick off at this point. So in this last sort of like hour and 10 of the match, I've caught probably £40 odd. it was just mental how they switched on in our last hour and caught a pile of fish. We just couldn't get a bite before that. So anyway, I ended up weighing 46.9 £, which was enough to win the section. I think 36 £, was second in the section. My good mate 40 next to me on 21, who also fished the jigger and lash casters in last one off, which I tried to tell him that stop spoiling my fun, but he's had 30 odd pound 40 of, and I've had 46. So a section win, that leaves me with 3 wins, a second, dropping a 5th, a 4-pointer. So I think I'll be top 10 with that. I'm not 100% sure yet, but just going up the club now, so I'll do another little video now once I know what's happened and who's won and where everyone is in the standings. So see you in a bit. So we just left the club now. The presentation just been done. Just driving on my way for food. We're going to go for Chinese. So I ended up 6th in the festival. Same points as second place, but obviously my dropper was a bit worse, so I've had a 4-point, and everyone between me and second place had a slightly better dropper. So you know, it's a good sort of finish. 6th in the festival. You know, it brings up my sort of streak of top 10s in the festivals, keeps that going. And also I'm into the parkdean final tomorrow, so I'll be 6th to draw in the parkdean tomorrow, and hopefully we get a good peg and, you know, see if we can bring that trophy home. But I'll do another little video tomorrow about the parkdean, and you know, hopefully, like I said, we'll draw a good peg and we can do the damage and bring that trophy home to Wales. So we'll see what happens.